Hello, 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 friends and family. Thank you guys for joining me. This is Caron. I am your independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. Thank you for joining me at the last minute in the craft room tonight. I am here tonight, you guys, and this is last minute. My intent was to go live on in a Facebook room. Unfortunately, there was just too many hangups. I couldn't figure things out, and so you didn't get notice or notification that I was going live here on YouTube, and for that I do apologize. So what I have for you tonight is I'm going to forgo all of that, and I'm just going to get ready to start crafting with you guys, and let's have fun. So this is a technique that I've been wanting to try with you. Well, first of all, thank you for subscribing. For those of you that are subscribers, those of you that are new viewers with me, thank you, welcome, and I'm glad to have you in the craft room with Caron. Let me turn on a little bit more light here. Make sure that we have what we need. Perfect. Okay, so this is a way we're gonna create 4 cards with, well, I like sets. Okay, we tend to give sets for Christmas, for gifts, whatever, however we want to do it. So this is a quick way to create some sets. So what you're gonna need is really you're gonna need a card base, whatever your color your card base is gonna be. You're going to need 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. You're going to need a stamp set of your choice. I tend to use sentiments or stamp sets that are what's the word I'm wanting to use? Not the ones you have to fill in, although you can use those, but I tend to use ones that are already solid. There you go. That's the word that I'm using, solid. So well, now that we have that, so I might be doing a mixture of both of these stamp sets, the Inked and Tile stamp set. And let me find my little catalog here so I can tell you what page things are on. So Inked and Tiled, that's why we have an index in here. And like I said, trying to figure out and mess with the Facebook thing just had me all out of sorts today. So Inked and Tiled is on page 95 of the catalog. It is part of a suite, part of the Inked Botanicals suite. I love this suite. The paper is gorgeous. It comes with a punch, 2 punches actually, and that's what makes up the suite collection along with the ribbon. The other one that we might use is the Textured Florals, and let me tell you what page that is on. And that is on page 65. Now the key for this is that for this technique is really go happy, go crazy, just have fun. And that's all we're going to end up doing tonight. And I think we're definitely going to use a lot of these colors. Matter of fact, we might even just use those. So what I'm seeing, that looks like a little bit of Moody Mauve. Mauve. I definitely see that color in there. That looks like a little bit of maybe, well, maybe that's the, ooh. Let's go with Flirty Flamingo. That's not right. So I'm gonna try, oh yeah. I'm gonna go with Bubble Bath, Moody Mauve, Mauve. I'm gonna go with Lemon Lolly, because those are the colors that I'm seeing here. And maybe some Old Olive. I might do 2 greens. So I might do, yeah, let's work with Old Olive and Garden Green. Those will be the colors that we play with. We might change some stuff up, but That's where we'll start. Okay? So how this will work is, oh, you know what, you guys? Give me 1 minute, because I do need to share. Oh. All right. And so, let's put the inks aside for now. What we need to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring our paper trimmer in. Now, the only reason I'm going to bring my trimmer in is because I need to score. I need to see where, I mean, I can see where my halfway marks are, but I like to keep them a little bit visible. Okay, so you can score lightly or just use a pencil so that you see where your marks are. So I'm going to line this on the 8.5 side. I'm going to line it up at 4 1/4, and I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm going to run lightly down the track so I can see where my 4 1/4 mark is. Hey Michelle, how you doing? I'm doing a what do you call this thing? A technique. I'm making my own background. I'm making 4 cards and making my own one sheet wonder. It's a one sheet wonder. And then what you're going to do again on the 5.5 on the 11-inch side, I'm just going to draw lightly so I see where my lines are. So this is where we get to have some fun. All right, so again, the stamp sets that I'm going to play with are inked and tiled and my textured florals, okay? So let me put a couple of these on blocks and then we'll see where we're going to go from here, okay? So most times the theory of most stamping is you kind of stamp your biggest element first, right? You know how that story goes about the teacher at college, and he brings this glass and he has the rocks, the sand, and the water. Oh, watching me on TV. Awesome. And he builds the his project. He asks the students when he puts the big rocks in the jar if it'll hold any more, and everybody says no, 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 it wasn't hold any more. And then he does the smaller things. Well, that's kind of like the same theory of what this is, right? So you're going to start filling your area with your biggest stamp first. At least that's how I approach this. Now, I'm going to start with my lighter color. So I'm going to start with my bubble bath. And this is a distinctive set. So kind of gives you like a watercolory type event, okay? So there's one style of one sheet wonder where you kind of use the lines as your guide, meaning I'll build along the line, but I'm not so much going to try to do that this time, hopefully. Well, maybe that's what I should do tonight. So anyway, I'm just going to randomly place my images wherever I want them to be. Okay. And again, I'm just turning my cardstock and I'm trying to make sure that I have one in every quadrant, okay? Again, I'm just randomly stamping. Now I'm going to do it one more time. And for random, it's easier for me to turn the paper rather than turning the cardstock rather than turning the block. Okay. And I never know what this is gonna, every single time you do this, it will look different. Okay? One, because you're probably not gonna turn the paper in the same orientation. You're gonna do something a little different. So every time you do this, it will look different. All right, so now I'm gonna leave this on that block because I may wanna come back with it. So now I'm gonna go with the smaller floral image. And this I'm going to use my Moody Mauve. Okay. And again, it's all about random stamping. You can stamp over things. And as you stamp, you might see that you need more or less. And so as you stamp, you are creating whatever it is you're creating. You're just stamping and you're having fun and you're just moving along. Okay, what am I going to do next? All right, so that's that. I want to put, I am going to use, from the Inked and Tiled, I'm going to use this little leaf guy right here. And I'm going to bring in, I want to brighten it up a little bit. I'm going to go with my little parakeet party. And again, I don't know what this is going to look like. I am just creating on the fly. And the thing about this is don't be afraid to stamp over another object, especially if you're doing a second generation stamping. Do not be afraid to cross your images. Okay? Now in this one, I'm kind of, and one of the things that I'm keeping in mind is how I'm gonna orient this on my card front at the end of the day. So you see that I'm sticking kind of like in the corner on this one. So 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna use this card in a portrait orientation so that I can stamp a sentiment in this corner. So as you're doing it, you're kind of like keeping in mind what you want to do with it, and you may not. Again, it's random. It's all about filling things in. And look at this beautiful pattern paper that we are creating. Okay. Just keep in mind what you're wanting to do. I don't want to cover that up. I'm going to use the other one there. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go in, I have another flower, but I want to use my Lemon Lolly. I don't know why I love this color, but it is so amazing to me, Lemon Lolly. I don't know why. I love it. But I think it's kind of cool. Now I'm keeping everything on the block because I don't know if I'm going to decide, oh, I need more pink, oh, I need more of the Moody Mauve. I mean, I'm just playing with how I am positioning my floral images. Yeah, I like this. I like this. And as you play and you build your scene, you will kind of see for yourself where you need to add more color, more depth, whatever it is you're wanting to add. You'll see it, at least in your mind's eye, you'll be able to see. Have you been crafting at all this week, Miss Michelle? Are you ready for Friday? I just printed the tutorials for Friday night. I gotta, at some point tomorrow before Creative 8, I have got to get my my parts and my pieces made or cut. Now Lemon Lolly is light enough that I don't need to stamp off on it. You have to prep and cut tomorrow. Yeah, I printed everything down tonight. I know there's a box that somebody's doing for, so there's 2 projects for tomorrow night. I don't know. I think I might just watch that one. I like this. Do you think we need anything else, Michelle? Should we add more? I got a couple of leaves, some smaller ones. Oh, I know what I want to add. I know exactly what I want to add. I love these splotchies. I love splotchies. That's what I call them, my splotchies. I call them splotchies. All right, so for my splotchies, I think I want to do smoky slate or, oh really? I just put my order in yesterday. I debated, and I waited and I waited. You know how that goes, right? Hold on, still trying to decide. Let me grab my smoky slate. Yep. Now, to finish this off, to add like a little texture to things, if you have like little, you know those little Victorian die thing? Oh, that's too dark. That's way too dark. I just messed that up. I should have tested before. Ugh, but that's okay. It's just that one. Ugh, I just messed that up. More splotchies. I love these splotchies. I love the gorgeous grunge. I wish I could still, oh, I could still use that. It's mine, right? Marcel said to add more splotchies. They just add a little bit more depth and texture to your projects. Makes it a little bit, in my opinion, maybe a little bit more vintage, maybe. Maybe a little bit more mixed media-ish, I guess. And again, I'm turning the cardstock, not so much the stamp set. I think we're almost good with splotchies. I think we're good. All right, so that's the quote unquote hard part, you guys. Hard part is done. Now you can bring out more of the floral elements if that's what you wanted to do, but I think I'm just gonna stop with this one. Pardon my little camera shake right there. Now I have to remember where everything goes. Oh my goodness. Oy, oy, oy. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do, but before I finish, y'all know I always have to go a little extra, right? Always. I made a little bit of a glimmer mist, right? Now this isn't watercolor paper because, of course, Caron never thinks ahead, ever. I never think ahead. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mist a little bit of shimmer right over this. Let's hope it works. And let's hope it gives me the effect that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a little baggy. Yeah, that color might work. And then I'm gonna hold it a little bit high. Okay. And that should add a little bit of shimmer and a little bit of shine to my project. Now remember, we went in with our pencil, so we got to get rid of that pencil line, the pencil mark. And my eraser, no, that's not it. Oh, Caron. Oh, Caron, what did you do with that thing? Just remove the pencil line. Now, one of the other things you could do is you could actually just use your score blade, because all you really want is to make sure that you can see where the quadrants will be. Now, if you could do that in your head without doing either the lines or doing score lines or pencil lines, more power to you. Y'all know I cannot, right? So now I'm just gonna grab my, and I'm gonna cut it at 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Four and a quarter by 5 1/2. I'm sorry, 5 1/2. All right, so here we have our 4 panels. So now we have to decide what we're going to do with them. Look at these panels. I'm frozen again. I don't know what's going on with this thing that has me frozen all the time. All right, so we've cut our panels now, and here's what we have with our 4 panels. And so we have 4 panels at a 4 by 5 1/4. So now we can trim them down into whatever it is we're going to use for our cards. Now I normally tend to do 4 by 5 1/4 card base layers. So that's what I'm going to trim these down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to trim this to 4. And I try to line it up where I take a little bit from each side so that it's even, I guess. And I don't want to take too much off of the white because I'll probably use that space for my sentiment. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. That's one. We're going to do that to all 3 cards, or all 4 of them. Did you have Monday off, Michelle? By 5 1/4. Let's not do that time. So now you just created 4 cards, or you will create 4 cards, totally different from each other, but made at the same time. Oh, it's not a bank holiday anymore. Okay. Yeah, we had to work as well. So that's 4 by 5 1/4. Take an 1/8 off the top. And take it. Did I mess up? I sure did. I took off way too much. I messed up. That's what you have. That's what happens when you don't measure twice. Ay, ay, ay. How did you do that, Chica? It's all right. We'll make it work. We will make it work. So we need this to be 4 by 5 1/4. Yeah, I know. Oh, you have off tomorrow. Did you take it off, or you took, or it's a holiday? Alrighty. So we might make this one 3 3/4. It's already 5. So we might make this one 3 3/4. By 5. All right. So we've got our panels already done. So the next thing we're going to have to decide is, and I just wanted to make them simple tonight. I'm not doing, not trying to be very difficult tonight. So I'm just going to stamp a couple of sentiments and heat emboss them on here. Oh, that's what I'll do. Oh, I love it when the ideas just pop in. And we're going to say birthday blooms for you. Where's that at? Where's my stamp set? Here we go. And of course, we are going to heat emboss because Caron heat embosses, right? That's what I do. So that's going to go back on there when I'm finished. What color do we want to heat emboss in? Do we want to do a black cinnamon? What color do we want to go? We've got purples in there. We've got pinks. We've got yellows. I've got a couple of, ooh, that's an option. This might be close to the parakeet party. Or we can do the gray that we did the the smoky slate in. I'm gonna go with the smoky slate or the gray. And you guys, yes, I use my VersaFine Clair inks. They are pigment inks, so they take a little bit longer to dry, which gives me more time to apply my embossing powder. Makes it easier for me to heat emboss. The dye inks with Stampin' Up, they dry so quickly that it's very difficult to use them for stamping or for heat embossing. So let's see if we're gonna like this. Yeah, that'll work. It'll be nice and soft. Oh, would help if I did this, right? And yes, of course, heat emboss. We know that's Caron shtick. We know that. We know. So that's triple heat embossed, right? But you guys, I'm gonna do something. I want to see if it works before I do the others, right? And I know it will work, right? So I want to find me a punch. I just need to find the right punch. And I'm not looking for anything too big, but I'm not looking for anything too small either. Let's try this one. This is my everyday label punch. Whoops. Please don't break. And I'm just going to punch this out. Hopefully I can make it work, right? Because I did not. Here we go. That looks about even, right? You're like, she just messed that up. Well, let's hope I did not. Let's hope I did not mess it up. I'm gonna grab my Pebbled Path ink pad, and I'm looking for a sponge dauber. So I can go ahead and sponge my edges. My blending brush might be a little too big. So I'm trying to put my hands on a dauber. Do I have any? Oh, yeah, here's one. And I'm just going to dab my edges. I seem to be frozen again. I have to figure out why I'm freezing. Sorry about that. Got you wondering if if you have the set. So I'm gonna sponge my little sentiment here, and I'm sponging it using the Pebbled Path ink. Okay, now let's see if what I had in my head, if that's gonna make any sense, right? All right, let's see if it makes any sense, and if it does, then we'll just finish the rest of them, okay? All right, so let me bring out some white cardstock. I find lately I do a lot of white on white white on white cards. I just love that effect. I just love the effect. So here are my card bases. I got a couple of card bases. Let me go ahead and... I did not score, but that's okay. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add it right to the front. I'm gonna do this with liquid adhesive because y'all know I need that little extra time. All right. And then make sure I have a little extra around the shape. All right. Okay, but what I'm gonna do, I don't know why that's running over, is I'm going to add dimensionals for some pop dots. Dimensional, oh, that one's already used. Let's grab this one. Michelle, how many dimensionals do you think I'm gonna use on my sentiment? Come on, how many do you think I'm gonna use? Actually, it's probably gonna be more like 8 or 9. More like 8 or 9. You should know better. Come on, what's going on here? A little flicking wrist not working. There we go. Alright, so once we've got that all done, then we can... Come on, why are you guys not popping off like you should? There we go. Somebody's trying to challenge me today. What? What? And I'm going to put this right back in the spot that I punched it out of. So that's called a little bit of, it's called spotlight stamping a little bit. And then I'm going to put it right back where it came from. Okay. And that's what we're going to do with our card. I kind of like it. So now I'm going to do, oh, I have to add some dots. And the gems that I'm going to add are from the Blooming Pearls set, Blooming Pearls. Oops. And I'm just going to add a little bit of bling, bling, bling. Let's go with this one. Okay. How do you decide where to place gems, right? I don't think that, for me anyway, there's no right or wrong. I kind of find it where there seems to be like holes, for lack of a better word, where there seems to be holes and they need to be filled. But I also try to see where it's not as congested. So if the right side of your image seems to be more congested than the left side, then I will place the gems in that side. 12. She said 12. So I think I'm going to put this one over here. Is that where I want to put that? I'm going to diamond. No, I'm going to put it over here. Okay. Should have put it right there. But that's our card. That's one of the cards that we made from those panel flower centers. Oh, that's a good idea too. All right, so let's finish up the rest of our cards, and we're going to just assembly line the other ones just by getting the sentiment stamped, and then in that order, okay? So I kind of want, so we're going to do the 3 3/4 by 5, and we're going to have this panel in this direction. Make sure I'm lined up here, right? That's one. Am I gonna do a second one that way? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna do one this way. And those are some decision points that you're gonna end up making based upon what your panel is telling you. It will tell you this is how I look best. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna do one here. More this way. I know, like a ghost whisperer. It spoke to me that this is how I should be. And last, right here. Okay. I'm gonna heat set them all now. Unfortunately, when you guys watch live, you you don't get the magic of television and watch me for you get to sit and watch me do heat embossing. We're almost done. Alright, so we're done with our heat tool. We're done with our embossing. We're going to put everything away. Make sure we have more than 6 inches of space to work in, right? Alright, so we've got 2 of them. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do a little difference to create a little bit of difference in between the cards, right? They're going to be the same, but just a little bit different in between them all. So the first one we did just popped up the sentiment, punched it out, and that's fine, and it's in this orientation, right? So we're going to go with this one. See that we're changing it, so we'll have 2 in our horizontal position, but one, our sentiment is up the top, the other, the sentiment is towards the bottom. So just to put a little bit of differences between our panels, but you can tell they're obviously the same, a set, right? All right, so what I want to do now, let me bring the punch back in. I might not punch that one just because of how close to the bottom I put the sentiment. I might not punch it, because I like to make sure I leave somewhat of a border, so I might not punch that one. I might punch this one instead. Okay, so we're going to punch this guy out just like we did the other one. Okay, it's even to me. Maybe not so even. There we go. Punch this guy out. We're not going to punch this again. I don't think so anyway. So let's put that back. And I'm still going to burnish my edge just a little bit. gonna distress it just a tad. Okay, let's put that aside. Now the one thing I did want to do with this guy is I wanted to make it just a little bit different. So I'm going to bring in a piece of Parakeet Party. And because I made this a 3 3/4 by 5, I'm going to make a matte border 1/8 of an inch bigger. I don't want it to be a 1/4 inch bigger, just 1/8 of an inch bigger. So I'm going to need to trim this to 5 1/8. And then the other one is going to be 3 7/8, right? Because that's 1/8 bigger. Add this to our layer. Perfect. Add our, why did my fan go off? Y'all, I just started to burn up in here. I apologize. So if you hear the fan, I apologize. But I'm like, oh no. I'm starting to grow a sweat mustache here. So I'll try not to use so many dimensionals on this one. Try being the operative word, of course. Even that just looks weird to me. I'm like, nope. Just has way too many open spaces in here. I can't have it. I just cannot. And that 9th one, so see, this has to be 9 dimensionals. That's just what it asks for. Yes, I tell you, when I watch other videos and they use like 2 dimensionals on or 4 dimensionals on a 4 1/4 by 5, a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel, I swear I pull my hair out. I'm like, no, no, just not possible. All right, so we're gonna put this guy right back in here like we did the last time. So we did 2 differences on this one, right? We changed our orientation. We added a matte layer. And that's the differences we're doing on this card. Now we're still gonna add bling because we have to have that. We're gonna put this baby right here like so. If you're joining me for the first time, I'd like to thank you for joining me, spending some of your time with us this evening to create these 4 cards and creating our one sheet wonder. If you are returning, I do thank you for returning and coming back. I know it was last minute. I was trying, my goal was to try out the platform, what is it called? Facebook Rooms. But let me tell you, I just could not figure it out, and I gave up, and I'm like, nope, let me just go back to my trusty YouTube live. All right, and we're gonna change our pearl colors too. So there's one. Here's another. because there's one. And I don't have another one, but we gotta have 3. So let's go. 1, 2, and 3. So there's our second card. All right, so you see the cards that we made again? Foam sheets for Christmas. Yes. Excuse me. So our third card now I got to figure out what I want to do with this one. I had an idea. No, I got to make it happen. I'm going to look for some ribbon. There you go. So this is gold and silver trim. I think I'm going to use this. Okay, I know what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a little bit of Seal Plus. Add it like so. I'm making a cheater's bow. Why do I call it a cheater's bow? Because I'm going to cheat on how I make it. All right. I'm going to cheat a little bit on how I'm going to make my bow. All right. I do need, let's grab this. One, 2, and y'all, this is the creative process when I'm stamping by myself. I just kind of reach out for things, and I have a general idea in my mind what I want to do, and then from there it's kind of like, okay, how about this, how about that? That is the creative process in Caron's brain. Okay, there is no process. All right, well, maybe the lack of process in and of itself is a process. What do you think? All right, so let's grab this off. Let's grab our base. Get this ready. Let's get this ready. I know I just put my bone folder some. Oh, there it is. I'm like, I just put the thing somewhere. Okay. I wanted to have this ready, and then all I'm going to do is take this off now. And we're going to put this guy right here. Make sure this is on. right? Then we're just gonna take a little piece of scrap, well, not scrap per se, we're gonna take a little bit of ribbon, put that under there, tie a little bit of a bow, a knot, and that's my cheat bow, y'all. Okay, and then I'm gonna find me a glue dot. Put that right about where I need that to be. And then put this guy right there. Okay. Then I'm going to trim my bow just a tad. And then come on right back in with my gems. One, two, and let's put another one right down here. So there's our third card. We're gonna do something similar with this fourth. So we're gonna change our ribbon orientation. Okay. And it's just little changes like that that you do on your card that makes them just a little bit different. Just a little bit different. The same, yet different. All right. So we're going to put this guy right here. Wrap. And this does not have to be perfect, you guys. And I did not use watercolor paper, so when I spritzed it with the water, it warped my paper a lot. That plus the heat embossing warped the paper just a little bit, so it's not as flat, right? But that's okay too. So now we're gonna add our dimensions again. Now, not everybody is a dimensional-aholic like I am, so whatever works for you, please use that. If you don't want to pop yours up, don't. If you want to keep them all flat for mailing, that's fine too. If you want to do like I did, pop some of them up, but not all of them, you could do that as well. It's your card. Do whatever you like with it. Okay. I buy a lot of my extra foam tape. I buy them in rolls. I buy them in sheets. Just because I never know what I'm gonna need or what format I need for it to be in. So it's just easier for me to have them in all shapes, all sizes. Let me get this scored up. All right. And you guys, we are almost done with our 4 cards from our one sheet wonder that we created, using stamps sets from the annual catalog on page 95 for the inked and tiled bundle, and I believe it was 65 for our textured florals. I may have gotten them mixed up, the numbers, but I'll check and make sure for you. But I will also put that information in the description box. I will link to you for you everything that I've used to create this card, for these cards, because it's more than one. I love this type of card if I have to create for swaps, because in less than half the time I will have created 4 of the same cards. And I don't really, when I say same, and I have a difficult time with swaps, because I don't want to say I get bored. I more often than not will never make more than 5 of the same card. Okay, and when I say same, I mean the exact card. Okay, I think it takes away a lot from the personalization for me, if you make so many of the same card. So I try really hard not to do that. And besides, my attention span can't take it. My attention span goes nuts. I'm like, no, there's a little butterfly or a squirrel that I should be chasing somewhere. All right. Where's my little glue dots? I'm going to put my glue dot in. Then I'm going to put my gems in. And then I'll show you the 4 cards that we created tonight. And that's how easy it is, you guys. Again, you don't need a lot. You could have actually had done maybe the same shade, the same patterns, use the same color, use 2nd and 3rd generation stamping to give you that layered effect like we did, because we did that, except for the big flower. We did that. There's some texture. If you have a stamp, what was it? Gorgeous Grunge, I think, was the, oh my God, I still love that one. I still have it. And now let's put our bling on. I haven't used, let's use our gold. We haven't used any of our gold bling, or gold yet. And I don't have a 3rd. So I'm gonna put this one right here. All right. You guys, let's bring them all back in and take a look and see what gorgeousness we made tonight. Oops. I left my there we go. All right, so let's take a look and see what we've got going on. So with our one sheet wonder tonight, we created our 4 cards. Okay. Now, like I said, when you're creating them, kind of keep in mind the orientation of your card, because that as I started stamping and placing my images, I could actually see which ones I wanted to be in portrait style and which one I wanted to be in landscape style. And based upon that, I kind of knew where to concentrate a little bit more of what I wanted to do. So in this kind of technique, what you end up with will develop as you continue to work and you continue to add your images. So we could have continued to fill more, but sometimes your mind tells you when to stop, and that was enough to stop. So I hope you enjoyed your time with us tonight. We spent about an hour, and I try always not to take more than an hour of your time. I will leave a link to all of the products that I used to create these beautiful cards with you. And if you want to join me, I will not be on tomorrow. This weekend is Creative 8 weekend. So we start, thank you, Michelle. So we start the retreat from tomorrow night all day Saturday. So the next time you'll see me is next week for, next week for our Tuesday with our kits. So we're going to work on a paper pumpkin kit on Tuesday. So if you've got a paper pumpkin or any other kind of kit, break them out and join me next Tuesday. I will send a link, and you guys, we're going to do this on Zoom. So first come, first serve, because you know there's limits as to how many people can be in a Zoom. So first serve, first come. Is that right? First come, first serve. Duh. And that's how we will make sure to craft together in person next Tuesday. As always, you guys, if you ever want to reach out to me, definitely hit my email up. You have my email information. And don't forget, this month, the special join offer with Stampin' Up. You get 35% off the kit price of $99, or you get 35% more products. Plus, you'll get a free registration, a $77 value for our on stage at home, which is November 11th. Guys, again, thank you for joining me. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. On that note, happy stamping and good night.